Welcome to the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. For group exercise junkies and enthusiastic classgoers, we'll explore and uncover authentic, thought-provoking, and heartwarming industry education and inspiration from entertaining, badass fitness pros. And now your host, creator of Warrior Rhythm, Warrior Strength, Warrior Combat, Warrior Revolution, and Warrior Kids Group fitness brands, Ellen DeWord. Here we grow.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you happen to be in the 2% of our audience that watches these, we're literally in a vehicle right now. And there's a whole entire group of us. And we just finished filming Combat Lesson 9. And so I've actually been thinking about this for a while, girls, of talking with our audience, our Confessions of a Group X Instructor audience about what it takes to produce a lesson. And so we have this full cast in the car today, and we didn't really prep for this episode because I just wanted to be really natural and conversational. But so basically, and Elizabeth has to take a flight. Elizabeth has to catch a flight. So at some point, if we're long-winded over here, she might get out of the car and leave, and we'll be saying goodbye to her. But okay, so who wants to talk first about, from your perspective, what goes into creating a lesson? I was going to say insemination. That's probably not a good, yeah, sorry. Inception, they corrected me. Okay. It's inception. Okay. Who wants to talk about that? Angel. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Anyway,
Passing it back. Here it comes.
oh.
So for every lesson from that very first of all, a lot of times we get a message from Ellen that just asked, hey, would you like to help test some choreography sometimes, not even necessarily being a part of the cast. And so, but when you are invited to be a part of the cast, it's this immediate ownership, I feel like, that a personal investment that you understand that you play a role in it. And that's super humbling, super, I'm losing my words right now, but it's a huge honor, even just to be able to participate. Like, your voice to a certain extent matters to Ellen, that your experience in the field is going to matter when, from the playlist that she provides, that's the first excitement. And then she starts layering in the choreography and with the music, and it always matches so perfectly. I always say that she is brilliant with the choreography. So it's like when the choreography does come, but you've listened to the playlist beforehand, it's almost like, yes, it just, your body is aching and wanting to do that move with that melody, with that beat drop. And it's really exciting and special to have the behind the scenes look at it. Yeah.
Oh, I just think it's amazing that with a leader, that she does trust us so much with all of the things. And some of us don't always, I'll be honest, don't always contribute as much as some of the other ones. People with team jobs sometimes. But it is a team, and it's just so amazing. And it's a dream. It really is a dream to see it from inception to production.
Yes.
Yes. Mary, what's it like from your perspective?
The whole filming, or just I don't know. From my perspective, it's really fun to see everything come together, from her starting to put it. I get the luxury of taking her class. So her writing a lesson and then thinking about the music and the moves and all that, coming up with a cast who would fit this best, and then practice. And then we all get to come here and everybody's so rehearsed, and it's just amazing to see, from ingredients all the way to this beautiful, wonderful multi-tiered cake.
I think Mary and I have a unique perspective on it too, because we are some of the talent that's here locally in Eugene. And so oftentimes we get to see the little tiny iterations in class, like going to Ellen's classes and seeing like, oh, that was a little tweak and the little tiny improvements that get made. Because there's a lot of tweaks that happen between the first draft of a lesson and the final production.
100 little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tori, did you want to weigh in on production process? Because
I think beyond everything everybody else says,
you gotta hold it. I'm tired.
you know what? Hold it. Beyond what everybody else said, I think, yeah, just the smallest of small details that change to produce the biggest and best end product is amazing. When you get to be part of seeing all those little details. I mean, it's not just like, this is the combination we're going to do, but how do we make it flow the smoothest from piece to piece? What's the easiest for an instructor to be able to teach to their best ability? Just all the smallest of small details, just watching it grow for like 8 weeks to the final product.
Yes. Okay. So, did someone want to?
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, even in the notes, I mean, when she was talking about details, from the timestamp to the lyrics,
Yes.
to the rep count.
Yeah. So I was gonna zoom out and go take a broader look, and then we'll get into the granular stuff. So first, we do produce, to Tori's point, world-class production here in this relatively small town. In fact, our production studio is outside of city limits, outside of Eugene, Oregon. So we're in this little, I call it an armpit of a town called Glenwood. And here's our confession. I'm going to say it in the middle of the episode. The confession is that the studio we film in is actually a dispensary. No one would know that, but we do. And we don't usually tell people that until we've already cast them and we're like, it's in the building with all the marijuana. But it's this building, there's a studio in the corner, like on one section of this dispensary. There's also an outhouse. Like there's no running water. So we use an outhouse. And I know that's crazy because we're producing these world-class, beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, our production this is gonna sound a mighty statement, and it might come across as being a little bit arrogant. But that's not my intention. The quality is even better than what I knew when I was with Beachbody in terms of production. So we really have this like great little perfect place in this tiny town right outside of where I live, where we're able to use the studio. And I tell the talent team that I'm actually glad we have an outhouse, because it really is a reminder to stay humble. Like, it keeps us humble. That every time we have to use the outhouse, I'm like, Laura says, and a squat number. So I wanted to back up even further. So we film here locally, and I usually cast there's 5 of us in every cast, and usually 2 or 3 of them are local. And the others are from around the country. Sometimes we've had a couple international people come here and film with us. Usha and Monique from India and Germany have been here. So it starts with, I have the whole workflow mapped out a year in advance of when to create a lesson, when to cast the lesson, and then there's that refining process that all the girls were talking about. There's a refining that takes 6 to 8 weeks of getting into the minutia of making it seamless and transitions and, angles, and are our arms going to go overhead like goalposts before we hit the burpee, or are they going to be in fists by our sides? Like every single second of the workout, we have determined where our hands are going to be, where our leg, everything. So it is about an 8-week process. And I tend to look for, it's kind of an organic team, meaning some people come in and it isn't a perfect fit because it's not for everybody. And then some people come into the talent team and they stay. And those of us that stay, like the group that we happen to have in this car today, is a group of repeat talent team. It just, we kind of have it really dialed in, so we know how to work together, and it's pretty smooth. But I'm tending to be looking for people that are really passionate about what we're doing and care about the overall vision of seeing it grow, that want this brand to touch more people's lives. So that's really important to me. I wouldn't want someone to come out and be part of it that didn't have that. It's really important to me that they're a great mover, that they have sharpness and clean lines. And that doesn't mean that they can do every single thing. Like we do some advanced things like crow pose or, bird of paradise. We're going to introduce spoiler. Oh no, I said, oh no. To edit this, so now we're doing bird of paradise in the next warrior rhythm lesson, which is highly advanced. So it doesn't mean the talent team has to have the ability to do every move like an uber athlete, but whatever their ability level is, them as individual instructors, I want them to have a clean moves, good perfect timing. Most of them take virtual classes from me, so they are used to my like style. All of us as instructors develop our own little styles. Like Mary is a dancer, so she has like a little bit of a dancey style. Like everyone develops their own kind of little style. And so while we love that in our community, when we're filming a fitness video, we like it to look like one style. So we work on kind of moving together in the exact same timing and stuff like that. So, but I just feel like do you think that the outside world and even warrior instructors have any ability to appreciate the magnitude of work that goes into a lesson? Because I feel like they don't, and that's not to sound belittling or condescending. It's just a behemoth, monumental effort that takes hundreds of hours. Angel was starting to talk about our notes. The team helps edit the notes. Well, not Laura.
This time.
She's got a couple in there.
She should have already been caught.
Gotta get to the note clean.
Everything from like the song lyrics, the timestamp. Angel was starting to talk about that, but that is a team effort, and it actually is maybe even a weakness of mine. So I've learned I need help, and then so the people that will roll up their sleeves and help. I also like to have like body diversity, different ages, different colors skin. All of that, of course, matters to me because we are trying to show just a motley crew. So that matters too. So a lot of it goes into it. And what I tend to do, I don't know if you ladies know this, you probably do. I usually try to text message who I would like to be in a filming before I send the official cast invite, because I need kind of to know that they think they can make it. Because if one of them can't, you guys might not know this, it might mean I don't want someone else in that cast, because it needs to be balanced between amplifier and modifier. So if one of you can't, I might be limited then and need to pull out one of the other people that I was going to cast. So that's sort of how I go about that. And it would be hard to rebuild a cast after the official invite for that reason. Anyway, how do you think, I have two questions. How do you think it has evolved, those of you that have been around from the beginning, maybe, or let's do that question. Then I'll have two more questions for you guys. Mary's taking a video. Mary is also our event operations coordinator / photographer. So she's on every single set we ever do. And she's saying, look, we look really pretty in all this light with all of our leftover makeup on. How has it evolved from does anyone remember we used to be here for 5 million years?
Oh, yes. Yes. So, well, I've been
Pass it.
from the beginning with combat. I've been in a few rhythm as well. So, I mean, just the style has changed. You have an idea. You know, it's always a joke. Wanda's grown up. She, you know, at 18, she was a grown up.
Hit record.
The green light.
Thank God. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going back to Wanda.
Take a look. Take a look and make sure.
As she's grown up, you know, the production has grown up, and it's just even from the wardrobe from the early beginnings to now, it's you have a very definite idea about how you want us to look and what kind of vibe you want to put out. And I mean, the format has evolved. We've seen it go from, you know, warrior grassroots to now we have three very distinct sections that, you know, create repetition and you bring in more strength, and there's so much for well, I was talking about rhythm too. And now combat, from the beginning we've evolved completely. We have the, you know, the rehearsal to the performance, and it's
Talk about
just,
we used to do rehearsal with charcuterie and we would drink
gosh, yes.
And now we're like,
So we've gotten down to business, and that's how we streamlined it. Yes, it used to be kind of a party. There were so many people, and we just needed to focus. Because it is such a big undertaking. Like, we had to bring our best game, and we had to separate the formats, because we used to do multiple formats sometimes together for our little charcuterie party. And so I think just we've grown so much, and we've streamlined it, and everybody takes this so seriously. It's such an honor to be asked and to come back. I mean, just like, it's an honor and a thrill to be asked the first time, and then to be asked to come back again. You're just like,
is it exciting when you get the email?
always. I mean,
Yeah.
it just never gets
Dude,
full.
I just remember that I used to get invited, a cast invite with Beachbody production, and I like would see that email subject line come in, and I would just be like, and then so now when I send the email, I wonder if they're gonna flip out, like, even though I've already texted you. So
Oh yeah.
I feel like my heart just goes, "Oh," you know, it pops. And in my chest, like every time.
yeah. So talking to a camera, being on set, we didn't talk about this, guys. It relates to thinking that people probably don't understand what goes into it. Another element of that is that teaching or performing to a camera is not like teaching your class. It's a whole different level of performance energy, and we should be having a performance energy when we teach, but it's a whole nother level. And the camera takes away, sorry, they've all heard me say this like 5 million times. The camera takes away our affect, the sharpness of our lines, the everything. It mutes, it takes away. It's like a filter almost, that is really, really challenging to overcome. So we all show up with an enormous amount of energy. We are so sore for like 4 days after a filming, because you're putting every muscle cell into every single movement, because of that loss of affect from that the camera takes away. It takes away personality. There's little tricks when you're leading, leaning in, really truly pretending that camera, that inanimate object that gives you no energy, that you're pretending almost like an actor or an actress, that it is a room full of 1,000 people. So it's just it's a really cool undertaking. Anyone want to talk about that? If not, what are your what was like, have you had any filming nightmares? Do you mess up on set?
Yeah. I'm always like, oop. Did you hear me do that today? I was like, oop.
I messed up today too. Well, we do mess up.
You do, and you just keep going. You know, it's just like as if you were teaching a real class. You don't always do it 100% correctly, and it's not about doing it correctly. It's about how you recover from that and just keep going. And
if it's an egregious error, like an error in a formula or something that would affect the teacher's ability to deliver, we do cut and retake. But if it's a minor detail, just like Elizabeth said, we keep it moving. We laugh at ourselves. Yeah.
I'll speak to the well-oiled machine of it all.
That's
and
Mary.
Hi. And just kind of reiterating that what's great about the evolution of this process is we would have to cut, like it was a new thing to teach a full lesson for an hour or at least 30-minute halves for strength and combat. And so now that we have this well-oiled machine, you know, those songs start going and you're like, we're in it. We're in it. We're not stopping. And so that's really fun to like see them get through it. And the excitement of like, oh man, like we're nailing this. This is good. This is really good. The energy stays really high when you do that. So that's really been fun to watch.
Yeah. I have a quick question and then I'll ask a question to conclude so that we can, go get Tara Rin. We go to Thai food after we film. We have a kind of classic tradition that we do, and I'm gonna get triangle shrimp and Pinot Grigio while they're gonna order that for me while I go let my dog out, and then I'm gonna meet them there. It's what we do every single time. Let's see, what was I gonna ask you? Okay, I was also gonna say that it is really challenging to lead beyond the microphone in front of your peers and colleagues. And I've gotten comfortable being on the mic in front of the camera just because Mary, how many times have I done it? Like 60 now?
60
something. It's got to be. We'll do the math. But it's, we're like on Warrior Rhythm 23. We're on Warrior Strength 22. We're Warrior Combat 9. We've done multiple bonuses.
Satellite.
Ooh, so I've gotten comfortable with it, but that was a motorcycle. Zoom. So recently Elizabeth took the mic for our last Warrior Strength filming, and she led the first half, and today Angel led the front half of Combat. So do you guys want to speak to your experience? Was it terrifying? Did you love it? Was it intoxicating? Were you scared? How much did you practice? I'm going to tell you, Elizabeth did like she was ready because she lives here and I get to talk to her all the time. So I just know how she was so ready. Like there was no stopping her from crushing that workout. But so talk about your experience leading. Was it hard having like us watch you lead and all that stuff?
I think it's everything you would imagine.
Wait, sorry to interrupt, but also how you practiced at home with pretending.
Oh,
good job.
Okay, sure. So for me, the recipe for success was over preparation. And because knowing it, sort of having that muscle memory, knowing it in my bones allows me the freedom to be a little bit more spontaneous with the cueing and the having fun with the camera and having fun with the cast. So that was like my goal going in, and I think I achieved it. I mean, I met with Ellen, we went through step by step the whole lesson, and I taught it, I practiced it daily. Our camera here at the studio has a smiley face on it. It's a reminder to keep a big smile on your face. So I printed out a big smiley face and then put it on my wall at home, and I taught to a smiley face.
Committed.
I was committed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I did the same kind of thing, learning to don't put the camera on me because I'm just interjecting quickly. I did the same kind of thing like when I was getting ready to present an idea for the first time, and I had a bunch of performance energy, nerves and stuff. And my recipe was over, like that was the only thing in my control was how prepared I was. And so I would look at a knot on the tree and be in the hot tub.
Yeah.
And I'd stand there in power pose.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the only other thing that I would add was just like, I felt a lot of confidence in myself, and that's something that I would wish for anyone that was leading. I don't have imposter syndrome, and I know that's speaking of sounding arrogant.
No, I love it. I wish more women said that.
Yeah, I know that there are a lot of instructors, including people in this car, who have years more experience than I do. But I also know that I work hard and I have a natural talent for it, and I'm just gonna do my best to share that with people. So I would wish that for anyone else who is lucky to be in this position.
Yeah.
believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
Angel was on the mic today. What was
Yeah. So I'm in Texas, a whole nother state. And so my process is different was different for than Elizabeth for being on the mic, but it's different every time I'm cast for pretty much kind of the same reason. Even without being on the mic, the process is different because we have a Zoom rehearsal always. And that's like the first time that we're really all in the same virtual room together. And when we go to that Zoom rehearsal, Ellen and Diva, if it's combat, like they are almost anticipating us that they're like, come with your questions. So we've had to do homework prior to just showing up and have already marked through all of the choreo, all of, the little moments that we think might be a hang up or, that we have questions about the details, like what Victoria was alluding to. And so when you're not being able to just walk into Ellen's class on any given Monday, Wednesday, those videos that she also, after our Zoom, when she is teaching online, that's vital to the process. And it's not even just, so I'll say this about my process being far away. I do watch the videos on replay, and also I revisit previous lessons. Everything from, and I love the new foundational video that Diva and Ellen created for combat. Before that existed, I would dive into self-studies and revisit the recordings from training days. And I would sign up to audit a virtual certification just to get more and more of their language in my ears, in my head, to once again see how they move and how they lead. Yes, I want my personality to come through, but the foundation needs to be as unquestionable as I possibly can get it. But it's not just a one and done visit. On the plane ride in, I'm sorry, we have a little emergency call situation.
doing a little do-si-do. Do-si-do.
On the plane ride in, I'm like the person I'm so rude. I don't want to talk to anybody. So my head is down. I got the ear, I can't think of what they're called right now.
Headphones.
Yes, headphones plugged in. I must look weird. I'm marking through choreo, like trying to make sure everything's in my body and just listening to the playlist. I have my notes out and I'm making little notes and everything. It is different to speak to what Ellen was saying about being in front of a camera and having the mic on, especially when you're in a classroom, it is more organic in the sense that and not just the energy of people, but the teacher in you, how you see the opportunity to serve. So as instructors, we're looking for common faults. We're trying to anticipate those common faults, of course, but then we're also able to repeat or reiterate form, technique as we're seeing our participants going through the choreography, going through the lesson. Well, when you're on set, you don't have that. You just have to have it ready to come out of your mouth.
Yeah. And I just think practicing teaching like you're teaching to a camera and having that energy and being concise with your verbiage and all that, command presence, blah, blah, blah. When you're teaching your regular old normal class on a Tuesday, thinking, I'm sure you did that too. Like, yes. So, all right. What's your favorite part, Tori?
My favorite part.
Do you have a favorite part?
I'm still going to stick with my favorite part is just seeing the end product and finding the appreciation for every small detail. Like you can be told everything. I mean, the very first production I got to be part of, Elizabeth got on the phone with me to tell me everything that I could expect, detail by detail. And I still got there. And that didn't even register in my brain everything she told me until you see it happen. And it's like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Everything is so well oiled and everybody has a job, not just the notes, not just the choreography, not just doing your part, but you get a job just putting the mat down, how perfectly the mats are placed. Where do the weights go? How do they look? What is, the nuances of everything, like the smiley face, where do you look? Keep a smile. What Hannah's doing behind the scenes as a videographer. Somebody's helping you to make sure that you remember every piece of choreography. There's notes. I mean, it's just the end product and just seeing how it happens is my favorite. Every time I'm part of it, it get even more appreciation for the process and the brand. Ellen, everybody who's part of it. I mean, it's just, that's my favorite. You can't get past that.
Favorite part?
Oh my gosh.
Of the whole
Are
process.
you okay? Laura just left the car and came back. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay. We have a lot of bodies crammed in. All right. Favorite part? Anyone?
Community.
The community.
Sisterhood, the family.
Here, hold it. Because
Oh my gosh. Okay. It gets me every time. Everybody get in here.
Okay.
When it starts to be the end of the filming and like they're cooling down, I get like teary-eyed.
yes.
And sometimes the song is like hitting just right, and I'm like, we did it. We did another one.
Me too.
Another one in the books. And it's like,
Me
it's this
too.
beautiful moment of everybody's hard work, that like blood, sweat, and tears, sometimes literally blood, sweat, and tears. And it's just
Like an angel broke my nail.
it's just so special. So that's absolutely my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
Of every film.
I mean, I don't know how many times I've cried or had a lump in my throat or almost cried in the cool down. And it is the 8, it's not the workout, the hour, the song. It is the feeling of the 8 weeks of creating it together. Just, it's just unbelievable.
Well, and it's got to be special, for your vision is literally coming alive and is being accomplished.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that's one of my favorite parts. I geek out at seeing you come in with your boss lady hat on.
It was a different.
Yeah, you with Hannah, you with Tiva, you with each of us, like just you're always clear, you're concise, but you're also gracious.
Yeah.
And affirmative, just like confidently leading us to
It's one of my harder roles in the operations of the business is which you guys have all seen so up close, but I do have to have a little bit more of a like tighter rein on the leash or something because there's so much going on. There's so many moving parts and there's so much excitement. And with a cast like today, you guys all know, when to be quiet, when to this, when to that. But as people are new to talent team, they don't know. I mean, how can they? How can they? They're really blown away seeing it all come together. They really thought it was easier than it was. And then they see it all and they're like, oh my gosh, there's 5 million things happening in every single second. So to have to like keep it tight, we're on the clock, to make sure energy is up, to make sure everyone's smiling, to make sure we go, and that we're focused. It's hard to stay focused because there's parts of the day where we want to break out into mini celebrations and we just can't. And then, so it's like this weird juxtaposition between insanely high energy while we're filming and then these unusual and important moments in between where we need like absolute silence and focus. And so it's just a dance. It's just really a dance. But yeah, that's a favorite part is that cool down song every time hits hard.
But I also, if you don't, I think you should speak to, there's a post-production process too. There's a whole other things that continues to go on even after we walk out of this building.
What do you mean?
As far as like and like video production and then like edits being sent to you to choose.
Well, this is really the Herculean part is over. So I feel like, ooh, okay, done with Combat 9. But there is a lot of admin. It does take me like a full day to get it prepared for the instructors because it's notes, it's playlists, it's video, it's sizzle videos, it's timers being sent, it's marketing, MailChimps, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's like there's a whole launch process too, that takes me roughly a full day, give or take. But anyway, yeah, it's a challenging
Once
workflow.
it's in the can, though.
Yeah, it's in the can. I feel like we won. Yeah. So what's your favorite part, Laura? Did you say?
My favorite was the community.
Oh, yeah.
Part of this
Yeah.
team.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just-
Elizabeth didn't answer.
I know. It's
Talk loud because I don't know if it can pick you up.
Get up here, girl.
Lean in or
Each one of these challenges you to be a little bit better. And we do get better. And I like seeing that progress as a team. Progress and the programming as it just gets smarter and more intuitive and more fun.
I know sometimes I worry about the instructors that I wonder, like the ones that, found us in the early lessons and like maybe didn't stick it out because we really have it's like that's so good. I think my favorite part, I mean, everything the girls said resonates with me. But similar to how Tori answered, when we get the sizzle video delivered to us, and that's what we call like the particular lessons like official trailer. So it's like a 40-second, maybe 60-second video showcasing kind of what's special about that particular lesson. And it always shows every single cast member for a little bit. And again, the best parts of the lesson. And that's, I think that's one of my favorite parts is the day that Hannah, she'll text me that, by the way. And then she'll say, is it good to go? And because sometimes I'll want to do an edit or something, but if it's good to go, then she makes the vertical one so that we can have our community do, TikTok or YouTube shorts, or most of them use Instagram reels for those vertical ones. So I love getting that sizzle video. By the way, the sizzle video is grueling. And we're supposed to look gorgeous and beautiful. We're supposed to look like that's the commercial that the world sees. The instructor video, just our instructors see, and they already know, love, and trust us. But the sizzle video is for the world to see. That's our external marketing. And so it films after we do the lesson. So we look like drowned rats with our sweaty hair. And Mary's like, Ellen, she was like trying to fan me off with her shirt. She's like, your face is a little red. And my hair, they're like, but anyway, because we just, we're exhausted and we've been, we just did the lesson all out as hard as we possibly could together. And then we filmed the sizzle. And then our videographer wants us to like repeat certain things like burpee knee 400 times so she can.
It's like, just do 3.
Yeah, she'll go,
keep going.
Yeah, she'll say, just do 3. No, the worst is when she's like, reset. Then we're like, oh, we gotta do it again.
Today, by the time we got done with those jack jabs, I was like, I can't even feel what my shoulders are doing anymore.
Okay, well, I just wanted to share this peek behind the curtain about kind of how the sausage is made and what goes into Warriors video production. It's a pretty amazing, super fulfilling. Honestly, it's like, I think it's the most rewarding, fulfilling aspect of, well, that's hard to say because so is just teaching. So is just being an instructor.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. Like it definitely feels, like movie star status,
Yeah.
And it feels like we're making a difference in the world. So we try to like huddle up and say a little prayer before we start. We just kind of ask for blessing and clarity and clear minds and, good energy. And, we kind of start the day with getting in the mindset that we want our product to help people's lives. So that's where we start our day, and now Thai food. So, so thank you for joining us. And I already told you the confession was we use an outhouse here. Yeah. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining in on the Confessions of a Group X Instructor podcast. If you're interested in becoming a Warrior instructor, go to warriorinstructors.com. But if you want more and found this episode amazing, please give us a rating. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to our next episode. So remember, be brave, be bold, be blessed. And above all, listen, learn, love.